Hi, this is Joe with another episode of Synergy's Accidentally Fit podcast, where we're talking about the little habits that get you big results to help you live a longer and healthier lifestyle and be engaged in a lot of the things you want to do in life. So I get this question from members because they see pictures on my Facebook about cold water showers, getting in cold water. Now, you might not view that as a small habit, that it might be a little bit more of a challenge. But today I want to talk about some of the benefits because I've been spending about 5 years being cold. So even though it's a case study of one, I want to share my thoughts on what the reported benefits are and whether I found them to be true or not. Because I've read a lot, been through a lot, again, being 5 years cold, that some of the stuff just doesn't seem to stick with me. It doesn't jive with what actually happens when you're doing cold water, whether it's jumping in like a polar plunge, or whether it's just turning the water on cold for about 30 seconds in the shower. My first introduction to the cold therapy was when my college roommate at Colgate, a guy named John Fraser, was preparing for the NFL Combine, and he had this high-level trainer and approach that he had to follow. And one of it was turn the water on cold for 30 seconds at the end of each shower. And this is 2004-ish, and we're using cold water for reducing inflammation, muscle soreness, recovery for workouts, and things like that. Since then, it's taken a lot of steam. You can go on YouTube, search Wim Hof, who's famous for getting cold weather out there. And I've seen it in a couple of different applications. About 6 years ago, I was on vacation in Maine, and we rented this house off season. So it's October in Maine, and the North Atlantic is cold all the time. And in specific, this one time, it is freezing because it's already the fall season. So we go down to the shore by the house, and we're messing around. We're joking around, two buddies with me, about how cold the water is and daring each other to go in and things like that. Across the water, there's another set of houses, and we see this lady in mid-60s come out of her house in like a bathrobe and walk down to the ocean. She takes the robe off, she's got a swimming suit on, jumps in, swims a lap around this little bay, and hops out. And we were shocked because the water was freezing. She had no problem, jumped right in, boom, hits a lap. And the next day she comes down and does the same thing. So I have to go over and ask her. She's like, oh yeah, I do it all year round because the ocean doesn't freeze in that area. And it's what keeps her young, just hopping out, getting in the cold salt water, swimming a lap every morning. And the air temperature is probably 30. It was so impressive that we had to start giving it a try, and I started looking more into it and what the benefits are. So for those watching on YouTube, here's a picture of our pond where I am up to my neck in the cold water. We have to use a hatchet to chop through to get in there, sitting there for 10 or 15 minutes. Got a little crazy look on my face because, well, it's really cold. So anyways, been in the cold water for about 5 years, mostly with showers. During the winter, we'll hop in the freezing pond, see what that's all about. But I've read a lot of the benefits, including calming itching skin, waking you up, increasing circulation, reducing muscle soreness, potentially boosting weight loss, glowing hair and skin, reducing stress levels, higher level of alertness, increased willpower, more robust immune system. So I cut and pasted these from the health website that they said if you get in the cold water, you take a cold shower for 1 to 3 minutes a day, these are the things you're going to experience. I will share my thoughts on each one. The first one, calming itchy skin. I'll tell you what, this is probably the biggest truth about the cold water that I've discovered on this whole list. It is one that I didn't even consider or look into for my own personal benefit. But afterwards, it's like, wow, my skin feels so much better. It's not dry all the time. It's not extra oily all the time. It really helps your skin quality. And I did the research on it, and it says if you get in hot water, you're basically pulling a lot of the oils out of your skin. You get your bathroom all steamy, and while it might feel good, it dries you out, kind of like a piece of beef jerky. Now, I know in the shower you have moisture, so it's not exactly the same, but it does dry out your skin. After hot showers and then dry temperatures or dry seasons, you're going to get a lot of dry and cracking skin. Never had that since I started doing the cold shower. So that's a surprise one. I wasn't looking for it. I didn't know it was going to happen, but I did find that it does and I'll roll that into the glowing hair and skin. I wouldn't call my hair glowing, what I have left. So I don't know about glowing hair, but I can confirm that I have enjoyed much healthier skin. Waking you up. Yeah, you could probably guess that is true. When you jump in for the first time, you're looking at about a 30-second response where it almost takes your wind away. You get that shock response. Now, sometimes when I'm a big coffee drinker, a lot of people are. If I'm doing a time without coffee, cold showers do just fine waking you up because it increases your response, makes you very aware of what's going on, makes you focus on it because it's something that you don't regularly experience. Increasing circulation. So this is an interesting one. I would say partially true. So when you get in the cold water, it's going to slow down the circulation to your extremities because your body's going to pull the heat and the blood into your core to keep your core temperature as high as possible to protect your core temp. Now, when you get out and you re-warm back up, now that blood that's spent more time in your core, close to your lungs, that is perhaps more oxygenated, will circulate around to your extremities and help recovery process and increasing circulation. So partial yes and no, it will temporarily, I believe, restrict your circulation and then increase it afterwards after you get out. Reducing muscle soreness post-workout is another reported benefit. So in PT rooms around the country, we've done ice therapy, ice baths, those little ice whirlpools are some of the coldest things I've ever been in after a knee surgery in college. I would say yes if you have inflammation. A lot of times you don't get a high level of inflammation. You really shouldn't be work out so hard that your body's puffy from inflammation. So it's probably a small benefit, even though it's the one that people talk about the most, or at least back in the early 2000s, was the reducing muscle soreness. But it is something that probably has a smaller effect. Potentially boosting weight loss. And I cut and pasted this right from our health website. It says research has shown that cold showers and exposure to cold in general, in addition to increasing metabolic rate directly, stimulates the generation of brown fat. Brown fat is a specific type of fat tissue that in turn generates energy by consuming calories. Cold showers then are an effective tool for people who are looking to lose weight. So I would dispute that last sentence, an effective tool. So that's going to be something that gets you great results. I would not say standing out in the cold or dousing yourself in cold water on a regular basis is going to make you skinny. Yeah, you might shiver a little bit and burn some more calories. That's what I believe they're reporting is increased metabolic activity. Your body's trying to heat itself up, so it's going to take a couple more calories to do it. Enough calories to burn fat? I doubt it. The brown fat they have studied, so whether it's true or not, yeah, brown fat uses some calories, but not as much as lean muscle mass. So I don't think cold therapy is an effective tool. So I'm going to dispute that one for weight loss. Can it be part of your repertoire? Sure. Is it going to be the number one thing? No. Number two, probably not. Number three, unlikely. All right, next one. And I know, I'm sorry, I wish I could tell you that jumping in the cold shower was going to make you skinny. Glowing hair and skin, I already covered that. I find the skin part to be true, and I don't have enough hair to be an expert on that second one. Reduced stress levels. Here's what the reported benefits say. Regularly taking cold shower imposes a small dose of stress on your body, which leads to a process called hardening. This means that your nervous system gradually gets used to handling moderate levels of stress. The hardening process helps you keep a cool head the next time you find yourself in a stressful situation. I would think a lot of people that jump in a freezing lake would dispute that it's a small level of stress, because your body will literally take its breath away. So I would say it's a higher level of stress. Now, it's a very short-term stress. It's not like something that's bothering you mentally for a very long time, but it is a very short, direct, I would say more than a small amount of stress. But I do believe overall it does help with the stress process, that it gives you some perspective, if nothing else, that, okay, at least I'm not back in that cold water. Higher level of alertness along with the waking up. Yes, Yes. So I like the cold showers and the cold water. This is one of the number one things that I was looking for going into it, is that the world is so noisy and things were so busy and so much on my mind and almost so much external stress that when you get in, it brings your focused in that direct situation of you being in the cold water. And a lot of those other things just go out of your mind. It's like a form of forced meditation or a guided meditation, if you want to say it in an easier way. And I found that to be very true. So you have much higher level of alertness, much higher level of focus, and it certainly wakes you up. More robust immune response. So I'll read what they say in the benefit. Scientific studies have found that taking a cold shower increases the amount of white blood cells in your body. These blood cells protect your body against disease. Research believe that this is the process related in increased metabolic rate, which stimulates immune response. So what they're saying is you're going to get better. It relates back to the circulation, that metabolic rate, pumping the blood around, warming your body up, will move your blood around and help your immune response. I am not going to render a judgment on this. I just haven't been as sick since I've been doing the cold water. And often, if I feel inflamed, whether it's from a combination of exercise, injury, or poor dietary choices, that a 3 to 5 minute shower helps get the inflammation out, which does help prevent some diseases. Increased willpower. Yeah. So if you're going to get in the cold shower, a lot of things look much easier compared to it. So there's my rundown after 5 years of being cold, being in cold water, being in cold showers, being out in the cold, on what I think about the cold water. The one case study that I mentioned from the lady in Maine, my own personal research and experience, I've enjoyed it. I will continue to do it. I have not found any negative side effects other than the desire to not want to do it every day because it is uncomfortable. When I was growing up, and this is truly what led me to look at it more when we had purchased a house with ponds. When I was growing up, I was told that if you fall in the cold water, you're going to get hypothermia very fast and you are going to die. So we were very nervous. And maybe it was just an old wives' tale. Maybe it's just what our parents told us. They didn't want us wandering around in ponds and wanted us closer by or whatever. So when I purchased a house that had a pond, and I have 3 young kids, I needed to have the mindset that regardless of how cold it is, if anyone falls in, I would immediately jump in without hesitation and know what the experience is like. So if worst case, I had to rescue one of my children from walking out in the pond, that I would be able to do so in a very effective way. And once I started getting in, guess what? Nothing negative really happened. 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, up to 20 minutes in a cold pond with ice on top and freezing temperatures, and still feel perfectly fine for my situation. That's not what I'm recommending for you to do, but that's what led me into it and how far I've taken it. Now, of course, you would like to speak to a physician if you want to do anything like this, and talk to a health expert. This isn't replacing any health advice. I'm just giving you some personal anecdotes about my time, my 5 years spent being cold. So hopefully that list of the benefits and a little bit of discussion helps you out. I'd be happy to answer any more of your questions. I know more people have been intrigued by it, and we have done a few polar plunges at my house for some of the Synergy members that have had very positive experiences and love overcoming that challenge and having that willpower effect. But it is typically a one-time thing. I don't know many other people that do the cold showers as long as I have, but perhaps you have some experience and you'd like to share it as well. So hit me with your questions, hit me with your experiences, tell me some tales, and make sure you subscribe for another episode of Synergy's Accidentally Fit podcast, where I can try some other things out. We've done alternate day fasting, we've done 24, we've done a warrior diet where I'll just experiment with something for 30, 60 days, nothing as long as the cold showers, but I can share with you some of the reported benefits and the benefits that I have experienced and the challenges I've experienced with going through some of those things. Talk to you on the next episode.